Hello, and welcome to my channel, Angelic Earth Resonance. If you're new and this is your first time, welcome. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here. And if you're returning, thank you so much for being here and being with me. I really appreciate all of you. If you're new and you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. I have lots of light language transmissions and meditations and readings that I post on this channel. And I love having new subscribers. I can feel the energy. I can feel the excitement every time I see and feel that new people have joined. So I do feel we're all connected and that we're all resonating with each other and drawn to each other for a reason. So thank you again for being here. I really, really appreciate you. So I would like to do a reading today, or I am going to do a reading today for the upcoming full moon in Sagittarius with the full lunar eclipse. We are in the window right now, as many of you know, and the energies have been very intense in general. So I would like to bring through a reading for the collective that it is my intention to bring through and answer how we can navigate through these energies that are coming up right now. Because this experience, this full moon eclipse, is basically fine-tuning us even more into alignment with our highest paths. So creating more authenticity in who we are, in our expression, in every part of our lives. So the areas of our lives that are not aligning with this authenticity and in alignment with where we're going are really being looked at right now, and many things are being released. And it's also exciting because many new things are coming in, or at least there's that feeling where you know new things are coming in. So it's been a lot to navigate, and it's all, you know, part of the process. We are climbing, and it's all beautiful when you have the perspective of growth and when you can be in an open state and open to guidance. And so that's part of my intention of offering these readings, is for myself and for all of you to open to the guidance of spirit, to remind us of all the beauty that's around us and help bring our attention to the areas that will be helpful. So getting into it, I'm starting with this deck. I want to show you. It's called True North Tarot. I just received it in the mail the other day from a friend of mine, Leah. She is at Dark Moon Crystals. She owns a crystal shop. It is beautiful. She picks out all of her crystals in a very heartfelt, soulful way, and they're all very high frequency and amazing. So, but this card deck, it is so beautiful and so just resonates with me. I feel like it's really new earth and 5D and high vibe energy. So if you're interested in checking out her stuff, I'll put a link in the description box, but her website is shopdarkmooncrystals.com. So you can find this there, as well as a couple other card decks, which I haven't gotten yet, but I'm looking forward to receiving. And I'm looking forward to working more with this deck. I've only read from it once so far, but I really love it. It's really beautiful too. The cards are very kind of almost velvety. It's the back of the cards. You can see them. I don't know if you can see that, if the light is too glaring. I hope not. I'm trying to get the perfect technology as far as camera angle and sound and all that, but it's a work in progress, as many of you know. So thank you for bearing with me. I find the sunlight's too bright. If I find the sunlight's too bright for these readings, then figure something else out. But for now, we're going with this. It is nice to sit in the sun and see nature out the window as I do these readings. So for the collective, for this time period, spirit, guides, angels, what do we need to hear? One. I almost hated to even turn these cards into have any in reverse. They were so pristine when I got them. But I like having cards in the reverse because I feel like that tells me things that they don't tell me when they're upright, and it, depending on the energy of it, all of that. So beautiful. Okay, we've got the 5 of Swords, 7 of Coins, 9 of Swords, the Magician in reverse, and the 4 of Cups. So 5 of Swords. Put this card up so you can see it. There's a cityscape there, a sunset. Not a sunset, sorry, a cityscape. I was thinking of the other card. Yeah. So the 5 of Swords. So there's a lot of aggressive energy, conflicted energy inside right now. And has been coming up to this eclipse and this full moon in Sagittarius. There's been maybe actual aggression with others and conflict with others. But mostly I think that we're having conflicts within ourselves. And it appears from this card's telling me that there's a conflict within the way we're going about things, if we're pushing from the ego and a place of ambition. So this is the old way, right? The old paradigm, pushing from a place that just wants, the ego wants what it wants and immediate results. And I want it now and I want what I want. And so there's a lot of conflict energy, I think, from the past that's bringing this to a head for us. So the 7 of Coins is coming in saying, no, it is time to invest in something long-term. The old way of doing things, the old way of pushing through, not listening to your heart, not listening to your higher self, that's not going to serve you at this point. This is a 7 of Pentacles, so this is you putting energy into something that's sustainable, long-term maybe you're not getting instant egoic results, but your heart and soul are in it and it feels in alignment, and in the end it's going to pay off. In the end this is what will sustain you. And you see it's a tree there and it feels really beautiful in the mountains, like this growth, this stability, and that's what you want to build into. And the conflict inside of you can be resolved by releasing the fear that it might not happen. Because the 9 of Swords is all about this deep, deep anxiety. So all of this is creating whatever this conflict is within you, whatever it is in relation to in your life. It is and maybe it's on a few different levels. I imagine it is, because we are stepping more into our authentic selves. So this dynamic of wanting to push from a place of ego and not feeling really patient with a process or spirit, that is giving us a lot of anxiety. And this is causing us to come into this position of the Magician in reverse. So this is also a really beautiful card. So the Magician is all about, you are the creator, the bridge between heaven and earth. This is the 5D existence. This is who we are. This is who we know ourselves as. This is who we're remembering ourselves, I should say, as more and more of these old fears let go. And we trust this process of investing long-term in us, essentially, and that we're worth it and that we can trust spirit. And so this anxiety is causing us to forget that we have the ability and power to alchemize. and to create the life that we really want to create. It might take patience and it might take time. That's what I'm feeling. And not a whole lot of time. Things are moving fast right now. So, but it might take patience and work and not maybe manifest how you want right away or in all the ways you want, but having gratitude along the way will help that process. So don't let the, try to ease the anxiety and, you know, go for a walk in nature, do what it is that brings you back to your center, because the anxiety is what's taking you away from remembering that you can be patient and that you are the magician and that things are going to manifest if you, as you stay in alignment. That is the way things are going. So I'm putting this upright, knowing that you're going to change that pattern of being fearful, of stepping into your power and being afraid that it's not actually going to happen, because it already is happening. And so the four, and how are you going to get there? The Four of Cups is telling me, and I keep getting this message through this eclipse, for boundaries, that we are really, boundaries are really, really important right now. We are figuring out what we want and where we're going. And so boundaries are being reevaluated. That's what always happens when we open up to something new, even if it's just a new frequency in our lives. So this is maybe you're having this feeling as you move between these worlds of the old way of doing things and the new way of doing things. You might feel overwhelmed and like there are a lot of invitations and opportunities coming at you, and exciting things coming, creative ideas coming, but you are discerning that you don't have time and energy for all of them. And that will help you step into this power of being the creator and the magician in your life, because pushing through, just saying yes to everything will water it all down, right? So you really want to focus. We all really want to focus. I feel like these cards are telling us it's time for us to focus and really hone in our energy on what it is that we want from our lives, and have those boundaries with ourselves as well, a huge part of things. And so I love that there's a rainbow on this card too, because it's like that's what's coming in, these new frequencies, these high frequencies. And so we have to discern. We can't say yes to everything. And it's hard when we're in between two ways of being. We're used to saying yes to a certain frequency, and now a new one's coming in. And so we have to start saying no to some things that even, not too long ago were a big yes. So that's okay. We resist stuff like that, and it's an emotional process, but it's okay. And this is beautiful, really, process. But it is telling you that we are all experiencing some conflict. And that is what will be the catalyst, right? Even though it's not the most fun, it will be the catalyst for the change we're looking for the change collectively that we all need to go through. That's what I'm getting from this. And so the next deck I'm being guided to read from is the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, and the artwork's by Danielle Noel. I'll list these in the description box too. I feel like they're just I love all these decks so much. So what does this deck want to tell us? Ooh, right off the bat. Baby steps, yeah. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. So take baby steps in this process so you don't get overwhelmed. You follow your intuition. You don't have to see the whole picture. Or you make a decision, and before you know that something feels right inside. And you're not alone. Make sure you're connecting with your community and like-minded souls, because you are not alone. I always feel like this has to do with, and you know, there's still a lot of people who are in isolation or feeling like they want to be in isolation. So just for those of you who are feeling that way, please continue to connect online and through technology in whatever way you can reach out so you don't feel alone through this process. Everyone is going, the Five of Swords too is telling me the five is, you know, there's change. We're all going through so much change, and that's what this conflict is about. Change within us, change outside of us. It's intense. So then we have the cosmic heart. Yes, devotion, potency. Make your life a moving prayer. I feel like there's some resistance to this because it came out in reverse, but it did kind of spin around too. So yes, make your life a moving prayer. I love that. And actually, that is my intention. It has been for many years. And it really makes life beautiful. So that's what we're aligning to in the 3D, or sorry, in the 5D energies, right? Too, is more of a life of devotion, whatever that is for you. It doesn't have to be devotion to a religion or any particular higher power. It could just be devotion to life or devotion to nature, Gaia, source, whatever is your, you feel connected to. Please. What else from this deck? Any other advice as we move through this full moon in Sagittarius lunar eclipse? Energies and frequencies coming through these portals. Yes, I love this. This has come out a lot recently. I remember soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. So I feel like there's a similar message in that Five of Swords card as well. I'm sorry, not the Five of Swords card. The Four of Cups. And you know, choosing the life that you want, not just going along with the flow of, well, I always do this, or everyone expects this out of me or that out of me, but remembering your soul plan and then, you know, choosing. To a certain degree, it's a co-creation, but choosing your destiny, coming into alignment. This whole reading is about coming into alignment, is what it feels like to me and what these cards are saying. And we're coming into alignment with our higher self and a greater truth in our life, a greater expression of who we are. And I think a lot of us are going to be surprised at what that looks like. But, you know, I love that the cosmic heart came in right after I remember. Because, or right before I remember, because it is through the heart portal that we remember our soul plan. It's through the cosmic heart. So the next deck I'm going to read from is the Moonology Oracle deck by Yasmin Bullen. I haven't read from this one in a while, and I do actually really like this deck. So what would you like to say in this deck? Beautiful messages so far. Very beautiful messages so far. Thank you. Boundaries, trust, reaching out to community. Having the courage to choose our destined path. This is a full moon eclipse. You saw me shuffle it, full moon eclipse. So conclusions are within reach. And fixed moon, hold your vision. So yeah, a lot of that energy of like, don't give up. Don't give up. This is a challenging little portal we're moving through. Not little, but challenging portal we're moving through. And so worth it. So worth it. I think the Seven of Coins and the baby steps are both saying to take it one step at a time, and be willing to invest in something that has maybe potentially a long-term gain rather than just the short term. Anything else from this deck? Seems like I want one more. Oops, yeah. It's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. Definitely. So 5 of Swords too. Time to release this negativity. Come into the cosmic heart. Let go of the anxiety. Trust yourself. As you hone in these boundaries, it will help. Anything else from this deck? And even if you have, maybe you're like, oh gosh, I feel like my boundaries are already so restrictive. Like, how am I, I don't want to have any more restrictions on that. The Spirit's telling me right now that for some of you, this is temporary. The intensity of the boundaries that you're creating, it's just a temporary process because we're in this deep transformation and this deep level of change, right? I don't think this from this deck. So take this as it resonates. Of course, it's a collective reading, so not everything I say is going to resonate with everyone, but it does feel like this is what I've been seeing out there with my clients and a lot of what I've been feeling in myself. So the next deck that I'm being called to read from, they told me 5 decks today, and so that number 5 has been coming up a lot, and we are in a 5-year, so we're in a year of change. 2021 adds up to 5, and I'm really learning to love 5. I actually used to be not afraid, but like a little bit anxious about the number 5, because to me it always represented conflict, like this. But then, since I started thinking of 5 more in terms of like the 5D version of 5, where the number is representing alchemy and, the 4 elements plus spirit coming together to create magic. And so here we have the magician. And so I think that's a really big theme that we have to remember as we move into these new frequencies, is that we are the alchemists, that we can change our lives, that we can affect the world, people, ourselves with our energy and with our hearts and our intentions. So also realizing that 5 is the hand. I always think of the hand and manifestation and magic in a way with that too, and healing. And so I like the number 5 now. That all being said. And so the next deck I'm being asked to draw from is the Oracle of the Mermaids by Lucy Cavendish. This is a newer deck for me, so I'm getting to know it. So I may end up reading from that one. Actually from the Moonology deck, I wanted to read the full moon eclipse, since it came out for a full moon eclipse reading. Conclusions are within reach, so I feel like I really want to read that, because sometimes the book for this Moonology deck is has a little bit different definitions than what I interpret intuitively from the card. And I'm kind of curious at this point and feeling called to read it. So let's read it. Just give me 1 second here, because it's under like the special moons. There it is. Okay. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. And just like that, so this is where we're at, folks. I know. And just like that, a door slams shut. If you've pulled this card, it suggests that the situation you're asking about is about to reach a peak, or has just done so, and things are now out of your hands, which I was also getting from the 5 of Swords. What you're experiencing now is what your soul signed up for. A way for you to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time, as hard as it might be. Forgiving someone for what they did could be key to resolving the situation in a positive way. It doesn't make right what they did, but it releases you so you can move on. Yeah, and then it says hold your vision, like of what you want, and release the negativity around it. Remember that you are not fated. You're not fated to any path. You can invest in your future. You can take baby steps. You can connect with your community, and you can create this dream and have good boundaries. Choose what you want to, where you want to put your energy and time. So many options out there for sure, especially nowadays. Oh, didn't need that. So the Oracle of the Mermaids. I like this deck. I've only used it a couple times, so I'm kind of curious what's going to come out for the collective for this intense time, this eclipse. Ooh, look at that. Transparency. Be perfect. Be honest and authentic, genuine and present. So again, can't make this up. You saw it jump out. Be authentic, be genuine. That's what this time is all about. It's going to pay off in a huge way for all of us. I mean, that's where we're going, because we don't want to live that, no one wants to live in an authentic life. And as more of our soul lights coming through, these ascension frequencies we're experiencing are actually initiating, catalyzing more of our soul's light to come in and come through. So regardless of whether you're doing a whole lot of spiritual work or just a little bit, you're going to be strongly affected and moving forward. So the next card that flipped over is, I don't know how to say it, Imrama. It says Wonder Voyage, crossing deep waters, pilgrimage, journey of the soul. Yeah, that's what we're all on. That's what we're all doing. And you see how it is beautiful in the background and she's enjoying herself. But it's not a party either. It's a journey of the soul. And this is what we're all in. It's a wonderful voyage though. And we can have that perspective of like, wow, what's next? This is exciting. Pilgrimage. So it's like a deep journey for all of us right now. What else is in here? Just see. Yeah, and the dolphin, the angelic frequencies. So you're protected on this journey. You're moving into your authentic self, and you're actually going to be, part of what we're working on releasing, one of the fears we're working on releasing is this fear of being our authentic self, of all of the conflict and pain and damage that we have experienced, not just in this life, but in many other lives, of being our true, beautiful, soulful self. There was, even more pressure in different times in history to conform. And we're really being born into our light now. That's what this time period is about. And I'm really grateful to be alive during this time. And so the last card that came out from this deck is vulnerability. Open your heart, allow yourself to be tender. Absolutely. That is also, vulnerability is a huge strength. And it's very important in order for us to transform and heal, because without being vulnerable and being really open, our heart space won't really expand, and we will get stronger through it. Sometimes it feels like, oh, I'm so vulnerable. I can't stay like this. So that's part of why we shut down, is we feel like this is too intense. But just knowing that everything in your human experience, if you think about it, is about calibration, right? It's everything you're moving up a level, and then you integrate, adapt, and adjust, and then you're there and you're having a new experience. So knowing that vulnerability is a gateway, a portal through your heart to a higher level of being. Okay, so trusting that process, knowing that vulnerability is your strength, as uncomfortable as it can be sometimes, knowing that it's going to set you free. And I also think it's interesting that it's like a couple there, divine masculine, divine feminine energy, mermaids, mermaid, merman. And I think that's interesting too with the vulnerability. So yes, be vulnerable in all your relationships, but and seeing a couple here too is reminding me, Spirit's telling me that a lot of twin flame type relationships or divine partnership, divine counterpart type relationships are coming together right now too in this time period. So a lot of that's getting aligned as well. And if you are in that kind of a partnership and you're in separation, that's because there's alignment happening there, and you're probably going to come back around if that's for the highest good. But I felt like when that came up in the card, Spirit wanted me to say something about there is a lot going on with relationships right now too. So just know that you could be being guided to leave a relationship, or you could be guided to work on yourself, or guided into a new relationship. So all of these, this is a big part of our learning and our lives. So everything's realigning. Every single thing is realigning. And if you're in an aligned relationship, maybe you'll just find new ways to be vulnerable together and new growth. And I feel like that's it, no matter what. In your friendships, in your relationship to life, to being vulnerable. So all of that just came through for some of you, maybe not for all of you. So take it as it resonates, please. Our final deck for this reading that I felt called to bring is the Beyond Lemuria deck, one I've read from many times before that I totally love. I say that about all of them, don't I? I say I love them all. I do. When I was little, every song that I remember this because I remember being kind of shocked. But almost every song that came on the radio, I guess, I said that I loved, because I do. I love like a lot of songs still. But I was little, and I guess I was excited, like, oh, I love this song. Oh, I love this song. And my parents were like, why don't you just tell us when you don't like a song? So it's kind of the same way with the decks, I guess. I really love them all. Okay, let's see what the Lemurian deck has for us for this full moon in Sagittarius. Ooh, beautiful. Loving compassion. Yeah, that's how we're going to get through it. And that's also what's developing within us more and more and more as we continue to up level, as our consciousness continues to grow and expand, as we do the work. Of course, it doesn't happen unless we do the work. Like I said, the universe is kind of forcing us to do the work to a certain degree, but it's also, those of us who are really moving into creating a new earth are doing a lot of work right now. And thank you all, in gratitude to all of us, and to our guides and angels, and all of the beings of light that are involved in helping us all ascend. Transformation. So this moon, we are in deep. We're going through a huge transformation. We have been, but this does feel like an intense portal. And we did just come through the Pleiadian portal lineup, when the Pleiadian star systems aligned with our sun. We just went through that portal, and now we're moving into this, along with, from what I've heard, I'm not an astrologist, but I do watch a lot, and from what they're saying, there's a lot of planets, crucial planet, and well, they're all crucial, but there's a lot of planets in retrograde right now too, so there's a lot going on. So we're going through a huge transformation. I want to read the loving compassion card. 16, such a beautiful card. I love her artwork. Did I show this cover? I did. So this is Izzy Ivy's deck, Beyond Lemuria. Loving compassion, unconditional love, empathy, compassion, care. These are the keywords. Friendliness, goodwill, benevolence, beyond duality, safe space, forgiveness, forgiveness through expanded perspectives, so higher consciousness, moving into higher consciousness, and open-hearted joy. So yes, this is what's being asked of us right now, that we give this to ourselves, and that we give this to the people in our lives and the collective, that we give this unconditional love and empathy, but of course with still boundaries, with still respecting and self-loving, putting this loving compassion to ourselves first, so that it can radiate out to the rest of those around us and to the rest of the world. And let me just read what it says here, because it's beautiful. It says, loving kindness is one of the greatest forces available to us on earth. It has the ability to transform all. Unconditional love is the vibration most closely aligned with God or the divine. When we allow ourselves to drop deep into our heart space, we feel interconnected and in a state of oneness. As we choose to direct our lives with love, all that is not real or serving us will drop away. Wow. So this is what we're talking about right now. Moving into even more authenticity. So we're birthing through this portal. As we choose to direct our lives with love and in alignment, all that is not real or serving us will drop away. So as we choose to direct our lives with love, that automatically puts us into alignment with our destiny, not our fate, but our destiny. So aligning our lives with love. And through that, all that is not real or serving us will drop away. Conflicts resolve, power struggles dissolve, and a sense of inner peace and comfort will radiate from within. Love is the root of happiness. When we can fluidly give and receive with the ease of breathing in and out, we can fly freely. Yes, so again, so this is just for some of you, I think, but there was some message in here about pushing forward an ambition with money and business. And so taking it more of a long-term investment, coming from more of the heart. So I heard the expression 5D business many years ago and totally resonated right off the bat, right? You can just imagine what that is. And there's a lot of 5D businesses happening, and I like to think that mine is as well. And so it's more of an alignment with love. It's like, yes, you're in a business, but you're willing to be patient and let spirit guide you. And so this energy is going to bring such great transformation into our lives in the way that we're looking for and the way that we want, through our vulnerability. This is the soul journey, transformation. Love and compassion is a fundamental element in the balance of life. It holds the seeds of the new paradigm of evolution. When doing hands-on healing, this is the force we call on, love and compassion. It is life force energy or God essence, and it brings healing, vitality, and transformation, which is the next card, transformation, to everything it touches. When we manifest or affirm something into the world from a place of love, the reasoning imbued in the statement will reflect our intent. If we manifest from fear, our journey will bring all the learning needed to gear us back into love. And so that's what your anxiety is about in the Nine of Swords. So coming from the heart, the cosmic heart is the answer. You don't have to be afraid of losing your power as the magician or being overwhelmed by your life and your circumstances. If you can stay in the place of loving compassion for yourself, for others, for the world. Beautiful message. I'm really grateful for this message. When we manifest or affirm something into the world from a place of love, the reasoning imbued in the statement will reflect our intent. Love that. Unconditional love transcends duality, transcending the us versus them, your opinion versus my opinion, your belief system versus my belief system. It sees beyond reasoning in situation to allow new stories to be told and for new beginnings to emerge. It transmutes all that is out of harmony, I bet. It transmutes all that is out of balance back to 0 point and bridges heaven and earth. And so this other card was talking about, the magician is about bridging heaven and earth too. So through loving compassion, this is how you become the magician. This is how you are the magician. And vulnerability is there too, really keeping focus on that, knowing that we're all taking new paths, or at least new dynamics in our lives. So new paths, new energies, new frequencies, and it does require courage to be vulnerable. Anything else from this deck? Because we're going through a huge transformation. Anything else from this deck that would like to speak to the full moon eclipse energies we are navigating currently? Spirit, thank you. Shuffle. One more card to complete this reading. Ooh, there we go, top card. Crystal keys, yes. So we're moving into more crystalline DNA codes. That makes sense. Yes. Thank you, Spirit, for the card. So let me just read that one, or at least the keywords for them. Crystal keys. And do you notice how all the colors, I mean, are going together really beautifully, as usual. I love how that lines up, because that whole deck is not those colors. And number 22 too. So, you know, this is about, again, I was talking about divine union, but it's also in soulmate, soul connection, but it's also master number 22. You can Google it and look it up for yourself and see all the potential meanings, see what resonates with you. But it's also reminding me of contact, making contact with your guides and angels, as well as, you know, galactic beings or ETs or spaceships, if that's something that you do or feel connected to. It reminds me of that as well, that we have at this time period, Spirit's letting us know we're moving, as we move into loving compassion, part of the reward through this transformation, we're moving into more of our crystalline DNA and more of our crystalline body. And in that, because of that, we will feel a greater connection, a greater psychic connection, or intuitive, if you don't like the word psychic, a stronger intuitive connection to our guides and angels through this process. That's what I'm getting from this card. I'm not sure. I'm about to read what it says in the book, but yes, the crystalline codes are waking up. Our star origins, our memories. So this I remember card too, our soul plan. This is all coming through downloads right now. It's no wonder there's so much shifting and we're letting go. It's just, we're really, really upgrading. And the part of the vulnerability is like, we have to get out of the way in order for this alchemical process to happen. We have to release our fears of, well, at least get out of the way long enough. Even if we can't release the fear, we at least go into our heart and surrender. Be courageous. That's part of the beauty of courage, is it doesn't mean you're not afraid. In fact, it requires fear. Like if you're not afraid, you're not using courage. But so fear is a part of it. You're just using your heart to move through fear. And this card, yes, this is an opening. It even looks like, you know, with the bubbles. Hold on, I'll show you in a second. I can't see that very clearly because of the lighting, but it's on, I think there's light language in the bubbles, and it's all, you know, these downloads, and up above her head in the 7th chakra and into the 6th. And so this is what we're getting, a stronger connection to spirit, all of us. This is part of what this process is about. So the keywords for this card: hidden wisdom codes, potent information, Lemurian seed crystals, seeing your triggers as a gift. Seeing your triggers as a gift. That's a big one too, with all the conflict in this reading. Awareness of drama creating patterns. That's another big one. So being loving and compassionate to yourself as you move through this awareness of how you're creating drama in your life. Like that's about the 4 of Cups too here. Like the awareness of where am I responsible for this? Where are there loose ends or leaky areas that I can handle this? So taking responsibility for these patterns of drama, but being loving with yourself about it, you know, not beating yourself up. And that love will just catalyst this transformation into this place of receiving more of the codes and information of who you truly are and where you're going. And so the other key words are healing the earth by looking at your inner environment. Yes. So again, like I was saying, transforming from within and healing through awareness. Choosing your path, making your choices. That's this card again too. The destiny path is a choice, not being a victim to the universe, just like there's a flow and you're just not ever directing the flow. You don't want to fight the flow, so that's the balance, right? You don't want to fight the flow. That creates all kinds of conflict. But you do want to learn how to direct the flow. And it's not always easy, and that's what we're all doing, right? Surfing these energies and the Schumann resonance, the frequency of the planet, what's called the heartbeat of the planet, has just been really, really going through a lot as well. So we know Gaia is experiencing all these shifts and changes with us. So this completes the collective reading for this full moon in Sagittarius, full moon lunar eclipse. So I hope this was helpful. I really appreciate all of you. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. It helps circulate the video to more people who would benefit from hearing this information and this guidance. And if you'd like to subscribe, I would love to see you again. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all so much. Blessings to you. And may this be a high frequency transformation for you. I hope this reading helps guide you. It's helped me, looking at it, guide you on a path to walk through this on a high level. So like, that's how I look at things a lot in life. Like, you're gonna go through something no matter what, a lot of times. And so what's the highest path I can take through it? And I feel like that's part of what Spirit showed us today for the collective, for those of you watching. So whatever you're going through, whatever changes are happening, this transformation is leading us to the greatest world we can imagine. I was looking at the crystal keys. This transformation is leading us to a more authentic version of ourselves, a greater experience of love in this life. Blessings to you.